to know that Odin prepares for a feast. This hero that goes into Valhalla does not lament his death.
Did you think Vikings were long gone from our lives? Nah, it's like all kinds of concepts and religions across Gaia that survived inside them. Like astrologies and charts across the nations primordial. Like pagan traditions from the goddess for all of us. Within those parties we host and celebrations on holidays. Holy days in Sodom and Gomorrah, yes. I wonder if you remember Westray. That's the pagan celebration of sex and tantra with Ishtara. Remember your days of the week? That's Easter. Each and all of them represent a pagan deity of Valhalla. That's the Aesir Vanir. Let's start from the worship of the sun's rays that warm us. That's Sunday for you. Then it's time for the moon that gleams as boons for dreams in the darkness. That's Monday. So hearken and someday you'll get to Valhalla if you're meant to be a great warrior. Next is Tyr's homage. That's Tuesday or Tyr's Day in proper etymology. Next is the middle of it all. That's Woden's Day or Wednesday. And you're thinking, okay, I get this. He's saying that we're all caught up in religions deceptive that tell us that we're living sinners and those gods and goddesses are all false, but then they make us pray to archonic horrors instead while we gobble the flesh of kids and idolize false prophets and celebrities. Those are idols. Do you remember? Who do you celebrate, if anyone? On Thor's Day, do you honor him as an avenger, or are you more of the Loki kind? Regardless, don't demonize anyone in the process, get it? It's quite obvious now. You might think, where's the goddesses in all of this? That's Friday, Freya, Frida, like Kahlo, the artivist prodigy. The final day is the oddity, where you all pray and gather for feasts often. It's not a work day. That's the celebration of Saturnalia, where they raped women and children in vomitoriums and had piles of orgies as Romans. False emperors like Constantine and beyond this like Nero. Imagine that's Saturn's Day. What do you think the Valkyries and Vikings would have to say about our society and all of the lies we bask and bathe in? That's facts displayed for you. Now honor Asgard and the Aesir, and you might make it to Valhalla one day, yes. This world feels like a giant war, truthfully, so I offer you lies, morgues, and eulogies, and all the tyrants abusing peoples of the diaspora. Lies are true indeed in this society. Mind the catch-22 and breed from misers that rule you with evils. Where do we find the tools to defeat them? It's Ragnarok inside us. How do we find the tools to feed it with what they tried to provide to keep us in a loop like foolish sheep to the slaughter? They use fetuses and food products to bleach us from our roots and origins, delete us from our truths with horrors. We bleed for the youth and peoples, mind you. Each day that goes by I get so high I flow ovnis, UFO documents. I'm just alone in a smoky lounge of a lodge, atoning for what can only be found outside of us, ironically. Lonely towns of ghosted riders, cloaked dogmas with ghost writers with no flow that's remotely proper. It's a no-go if you try to ghost me. I'm but Holokia, chocolate and scorpion, hone and chalk the grimiest omens in my timeless dome with star cards, while they sow dubious horrors and reap what they speak of. Truly no contest. We go toe-to-toe and you die quick. Machos and sly pricks, you could try me. I got machetes and I'm like Iron Fist or Jet Li when I talk. Watch them dying dreadful while we're sky high with rosters dreaded. Tempt me and get deceased and rotten. Pac warned you of this time and era. Watch what you talk of and mind this verily. We are Venus Project. You New World Order liars are heretics to the beauteous goddess and her timeless offspring. We do voodoo to stop you from devolving into mindless derelicts. I've got no problems with the streets though. It's demonic patriarchy that's the problem clearly. So we abide by street codes and see everything that goes by. Eerily soul high, soulful vibes like growing your own ganja or making it into unknown products and medicines. Hear ye, your known imposters were the most peerless veterans. Revolt motion, tearfully effortless when we speak. Clear crystals shine in the near deepest trenches of abyssal depths. 8 missile jet to your little guns, riddle this. Your hatred isn't meant for this existence. If you were in the position of the women you called, would you be scared just a little bit? Would you be scared just a little bit? Riddle this. I'm ever vigilant as a marksman, watchful for heretics and wretches that dare to think they'd best us. Who dares to be king? Step up! I'm far from it in aspects. I'm a street prince that clashes with weaklings and leaves them seething and bleeding with teeth kicked in. Now ask why. Past lives I've had so many, I can feel the blood flowing inside me, like Genghis Khan's or Vlad the Impalers. I could have been Thorfinn's kindred, I could have been a Viking giant in Norse mythology in my lineage from back then in northern Eurasia. But I chose other scores of races, though I know that the 5% that flows in my veins is like the 5%ers, poor righteous teachers. I'd leave you ice cold, frozen in horror, faceless with the void walkers you worship. You white walkers, I write and slaughter you. You have no life inside you. This is a Game of Thrones, and I like the Aesir Vanir and the Valkyries. I've been a sword to them before to oust diseases. I wrote that omen an oracle long ago. I've been a dwarf in the Mahabharata, a sacred sword of Valhalla, a silk thread in the fifth in the island of immortals, thick bread and some sticks for survival, harsh skins from suns in the Arctic. Ma vie en exil depuis l'an 7000. I would slaughter all you zombies with my kindred if I could afford to and honest, but in the present it's not possible. I'm thoroughly limited and this is beyond your comprehension. A lot of you would probably think it. He doesn't look like a Viking until you saw me in a past life as a flashback, like a strike of lightning in your consciences. And that's fact. I'm that younger brother of Thor that swings swords with utter precision till the thunder leaves you asunder as muttering misfits. Remember, recuérdate. I grew up on Norse mythologies as well. Runes upon my body, I have many in the future. They gleam like the moons in midsummer night's boons. In dreams I write for you to seize this. It's like you dudes are devious and rude, so evil and foolishly deceitful that you dubiously deem I couldn't rule you and eat you for food if I needed it. I'm hungry, I'm far from starving, but I told you often I stay famished when I write and vanish into the night of the beats, while you stay coughing and eating diseased morsels of flesh that make your organs bleed. They bleed you all to death in a hospital or a bereavement clinic, where you die and they'd be speechless with your eyes upon your carcasses in a coffin, as the members of your crew are thinking, why was he even alive? I mean, the dude wasn't even a brethren to me. Thank you. Next, like Ariana said it, you puppets will thank me in the next seasons and constellations, where I see you all there teething as babies, and I'm waging wars to protect you and prevent harm for your seedy reincarnates. If I see you as a baby or a child, I'll be like, he has a goddess that protects him and breastfeeds him, I get it. He's never gonna be that hex demon again from his past lives. You'll all be matriarchal warriors. Ask your wives if you don't believe me. All of you.
Let this war never end, until not a single pagan lives or breathes.
We're like Vikings at round tables, striking with sound fables to heighten, astound, and engage you. Profound and amazing Aesir that slay through boundless mazes of dangers, hang you by your chains that dangle. You anger me with your pagan bangles. I strangle your enslavement anthems and your caveman tantrums. You can blame us with claims and banters, but it's plain to us your aim is cancerous. I stay with sages that flavor pages with ancient mantras, patiently answer every stranger till they change their camps and then tame them like panthers with a shaman. Shame that every nameless artist claims to be famous and heartless. So if your claims to be the hardest, my aim's to be the smartest. This game to me is garbage. I praise the names of the goddess, apocalyptic like John Connor. I'm sane and honest, all the same I'm modest in presence and yet the opposite in essence. I promise you blessings of the prophets like Johannes and Yeshua, greatest messengers, while they profit from vestiges of your highness's messages. But you know who's the most high, no close tries, no close ties either. Almost die from ether or so high that they're heathens. I'm suspended in stasis, asleep till I awaken. I dream of vivid, exquisite nature, visit realms as ageless as dreamy tales of ancients of Asia, with patrons of invisible places, indivisible in nature, metaphorical and mythical pages, as literal as oral literature's native. Sway deities from sidereal ages, from Pleiades to miserable races drifting in space. I make haste, make way, consider the stakes before you're laid to waste and littered with snakes. Effortlessly dead the jakes in your vicinity, bigots and hateful idiots. Remember me, it never ends, I'm continually scripting. Sever friendships when I'm getting too explicit to sever limbs, but I'll do it, yes. You clever men can do this shit. Court-ordered visits visits. I even need my PO's permission in order to record what I've written, but they don't bother to listen, cause they know I'd slaughter them quickly. No women, no children, though, that's con principles in all my genetics. I'm not invincible, but if you saw me swinging machetes, you would think you wouldn't want to test me. I'm awfully sick of the awkward shit in your songs, yes. You're not kings at all, you wouldn't want to step up to the ring. Now sing that shit to the cops and tell me what it all but brings you. You're garbage, get it? You'd get locked up and tortured quick by the feds and officers that would question you extensively, but off the record, not a lot of witnesses. Mine are long dead, but you didn't want to listen. 3 Crown prosecutors, all different, but they dropped the case cause they all said there's a lot of documents here, it's a lot more than extensive. We need more time to prosecute him properly. That was for robbing and looting when I was a gorgeous youth. 3 to 9 in penitentiary they offered me, I said not guilty. Years, yes, I'm cognitively impaired, but I'm not at all there in my mind, you get it? The psychiatrist report said, nah, he's guilty. He's lying about all of this. My lawyer said he's not what you think him. Armed robbery is not his thing. He's got a single mom that's a doctor of philosophy, yes. He's not a threat to the system. He's an honors scholar in higher colleges. Prosecutors all got mysteriously sick and didn't show up to the court at all for the hearing. That's mafia ties for you, you hear me? Eventually the judge said not responsible on all charges, but just give him some kind of a sentence. So I got 5 months of electronic monitoring and triple time in the correctional before this, then 18 months of probation and a decade of bars and weapons restrictions. Barred from any of my kindred, but I got myself a bench press and started to get fit. That was my rite of passage, transitioning from my life as an addict. Now I write the madness we live in, a sorrowful existence we're glad to depict as gorgeous and exquisite, but behind the scenes is a lot of horrors and sickness.
Who wants to be king? Oh, you know how this works! If you want to be king, you must kill me. No, what about you? No, no, anyone? Who wants to be king?
¿Deseas estar un rey, hombre? Who wants to be king again? Step up and sing your shit, let's see. I'll even give you a free concert in Palestine for you wanna be religious zealots and horrid liars. You call yourselves Muslims or Christians or Hebraic peoples not from the diaspora. Listen, let's see you go in the midst of war-torn places in the Middle East to claim your kingship. I think some of you even thought you were beyond this and beheaded false lords of the ending like Jizza. Would you call me that? I came back with 2 sharp swords just in case, but I got 4 more for the record. They're scimitar machetes with oversized heads, just so you can all remember who I'm not. I didn't whip the bankers enough, and I'm not your Yeshua ben Miriam. You could call me Anton Oskara for the record. That's my government name since I was born, and before this, yes, that's the priceless spear of destiny Hitler wanted to get, but feared to fall with. You're all dead when you see autumn leaves falling. It'll be a frosty winter, and winter is long here and fall even, I promise you. When you all get what's gonna happen when they drop my injections beyond maximum level, I'm psychotic as all hell's on them. So imagine when I'm off, I'll off you like the goddess did in the beginning to all you fake fucks like Matakali chopping limbs and heads for her malas and dresses. Imagine Frida freezing hells over with Shiva's trident. Believe this, you need some enlightenment quickly. I'd say Vajrayana is the lightning vehicle, as Vajrasattva or Goragnati. Ask a Palestinian orphan and you'd all but get this. I am from the 19 tribes of the Tigani diaspora, yes. You'll all die in horror quick if you realize what we've all gone through as Avengers and Nazi experiments and lives before this one. Imagine why Vikings honor me in Valhalla for what I did in this form of existence. Who of you could claim that you fought wars to stop orphans from dying across continents and oppressors? How many of you all got iron from tribes Gallic forged in highly volatile forms of poisons inside blades? We slaughter you dying knaves in wars that never end. Then you die as the slaves you are with masters that are ancient horrors. You're haggard and faceless monsters when we drag your severed heads and limbs to ancient pits and hells. To offer as cannon fodder to rabid Hades offspring that were made from insects and aliens that had babies inside your rotting bodies. Do you get who I am? This world feels like a giant war, truthfully, so I offer you lies, morgues, and eulogies, and all the tyrants abusing peoples of the diaspora. Lies are true indeed in this society. Mine the catch-22 and breed from misers that rule you with evils. Where do we find the tools to defeat them? It's Ragnarok inside us. How do we find the tools to feed it with what they tried to provide to keep us in a loop like foolish sheep to the slaughter? They use fetuses and food products to bleach us from our roots and origins, delete us from our truths with horrors. We bleed for the youth and peoples, mind you. Each day that goes by I get so high I flow off these UFO documents. I'm just alone in a smoky lounge of a lodge, atoning for what can only be found outside of us, ironically. Lonely towns of ghosted riders, cloaked dogmas with ghost writers with no flow that's remotely proper. It's a no-go if you try to ghost me. I'm but Holokya, chocolate and scorpion, hone and chalk the grimiest omens in my timeless dome with star cards, while they sow dubious horrors and reap what they speak of. Truly no contest, we go toe-to-toe and you die quick. Machos and sly pricks, you could try me. I got machetes and I'm like Iron Fist or Jet Li when I talk. Watch them dying dreadful while we're sky high with rosters dreaded. Tempt me and get deceased and rotten. Pac warned you of this time and era. Watch what you talk of and mind this verily. We are Venus Project, you New World Order liars are heretics to the beauteous goddess and her timeless offspring. We do voodoo to stop you from devolving into mindless derelicts. I've got no problems with the streets though, it's demonic patriarchy that's the problem clearly. So we abide by street codes and see everything that goes by. Eerily soul high, soulful vibes like growing your own ganja or making it into unknown products and medicines. Hear ye, your known imposters were the most peerless veterans. Revolt motion, tearfully effortless when we speak. Clear crystals shine in the near deepest trenches of abyssal depths. 8 missile jet to your little guns, riddle this. Your hatred isn't meant for this existence. If you were in the position of the women you called, would you be scared just a little bit? Would you be scared just a little bit? Riddle this.
This hero that comes into Valhalla does not lament his death. My death comes without apology. And I welcome the Valkyries to summon me home.
This is the end of the world, past the last wars and genocides of the earth. Ragnarok has started against this industry of liars and imposters, yes. Step into the ring and drop dead quickly. I am the spear of destiny of Shiva and Kali. You go to the cops to solve problems. We throw your body in war with Sodom. Catch it quick before we flip the script and call you liable for a lot more than hell's fires. That shit is expensive to warm up once you froze it over. I'm warning you ignoble sober fucks. I drink more pots of native coffee in 40s in a day than smoke some ganja more often than hip-hop did back in its glorious age. Scorpion peppers are full of flavor for a short breakfast. Come over for a shorter visit. I'll abbreviate all you idiots like optional letters. Fake thugs in recording studios going pop quicker than Pac did it when he popped 2 cops with a 40 Glock tip. I can't afford to just floss a gimmick. I just withdraw from the laws of physics instead. When my swords flip as quickly as fly wings. Now die please or retire from the industry. You lying diseased simians. If I let it go, would you come back with some whack raps and numb tracks I'd call illegible? I wouldn't tell you like your moms would to eat your vegetables. You half-ass grown-ass excuses for men would trip the shit. If you saw members of my family that would dismember your raps as quickly as they'd strap you for that shit. Ask your gran or your mother what would happen if you flashed a couple grand at the bar in front of them. Don't want the top 10, but you can't even top charts when you drop dead. You're just a lot of monsters with teams and equipments like Microsoft did it. Sign at the dotted line, please. I see you all getting snuffed like Puffy when Shine should have shot him up in the club instead. I'll give you a lot more than my 2 cents. Just don't ask for 50, cause that would be too much. Acid trip visions when the liquid crystalline depiction drips in drops of liquor, nicotine within it. Add a few drops of capsis and concentrate to ask you questions about your nonsense hatred. Your disrespect to women and children and eons like Yeshua and Sophia. You all wanted to be blessed, so be it. No freedom for you greedy fucks with seedy scriptures. I see you call goddesses like objects objects you couldn't even call that. But you'll bawl and weep with a lot of teeth gnashing when I see you all as ghastly as your pale figures, flaccid and deaded like you were in acid decomposition. Cop your biscuits and come talk to me if I dodge them swiftly as the wind flips my swords and machetes. I'll make it to the halls of Valhalla one day as one of the greatest warriors upon Gaia. Some say this or not, but regardless, I pray that you got this properly. I have swords and weapons for wars, but I am the sword and weapon for ultimate wars as an avenger with penultimate bars. Fellow of perfect penmanship since my flow as a kid. I've been the hardest and best of omens, yet you couldn't chart what you know of this. If you've got no heart inside you for global militants, I flow for the Sangha with so much diligence you'd think I was one of the craziest warriors. Total dominion is what they want. They've inverted everything, which is no thing, into an object. Left and right, light and darkness, breath and spite. I stay restless despite this, but get this, Aki. Darkness rhymes with heartless, right with light and white, and left rhymes with death, yeah, but that's just politics. I heard all that shit before. It's cause of your horrid languages that turned everything backwards into garbled garbage. How could we even get to Valhalla if we're just wretches and imposters in the midst of a mass extinction? Yes, where's the warriors of the Black Lotus Sangha? Where's the rainbow tribes and their magicians and archers? Where's their machetes and swordsmen other than in Hollywood? I risk my life every time I flip centaurs just for fun cause I like that drunken shit. Where's the drunken masters? I met a couple heroes that are as super as stupa mudras, golden reflections from woven peoples like Startide and Wolverine as Logan. But these days it seems crazy to say this. I ponder often how many conscious prodigies are left with all their consciousness. We need the Valkyries and warriors of mythological legends to reincarnate and descend here from Valhalla, Jannat and Zion in the truest senses. I'd rhyme till I was blue in the lips, but for now this should do it, yes. You're all clueless jesters to me. You dudes are pestilent and unruly idiots and macho men, destitutes with too many condos and supercars you rented too often on boosted credit. Based on your dubious fame, it's the fall of all of you. I will honor Ragnarok till we're through to the end times, yes. And it is truly endless. And it is truly endless.